Hey everyone, I'm AJ and today we're reacting to some more bad financial advice on TikTok. These reactions should be cool because someone else helped me out and picked out the TikToks that I would be reacting to rather than me scrolling through and finding ones that I recognized as bad. So we'll both be watching these videos together for the first time. You'll see my live reaction.
Let's talk about the worst financial advice ever, in my opinion.
Okay.
When people say, stop going to Starbucks and make coffee at home. People say this like making coffee to save $5 is gonna change someone from broke to rich all of a sudden like magic. You can't do that. You have to increase your income. Do you think in the history of ever that any rich person has gotten all the things they have by waking up one day and being like, you know what, I'm just gonna give up on Starbucks, it's too expensive? No.
Okay, it's definitely not bad financial advice to tell someone to save money by not buying expensive coffee every day. That's almost definitely good financial advice. Maybe you could say that it makes your life a little more boring or something like that, but you can't say it's bad financial advice. It's just someone spending less money, which in general is a good financial thing. He's right about becoming rich. You do have to level up your income to become rich. You're not gonna get rich by saving $5 every day and investing that $100 a month into the market, but you definitely can make a really sizable impact by saving $5 every day and investing $100 a month into the market. I'm still a big fan of doing little things throughout the days to save money here and there so that you have a lot more money in retirement that you can live freely with. Smoking a cig?
Son, you know, once you start, there's no going back.
You'll never work.
This means total commitment. Once you begin the path, there is no leaving the path. Are you sure you're ready for that?
No. That video makes stock trading seem like such a cult or underground lifestyle. I didn't like it. Plus, any side gig, especially stock trading, should never require a total commitment. Actually, in my opinion, the exact opposite. The reality is that over 90% of people who will get into stock trading or day trading at some point in their lives will end up losing money in aggregate. They'll lose more money than they make. And there's a reason for that. It's very difficult to beat the markets and to beat the institutional traders out there. If everyone could get rich just trading stocks all day long, far more people would be doing it. So it's very dangerous to tell people in this TikTok that you need to forget everything and commit completely to day trading stocks. That's not going to work for the vast majority of people. $100,000 this summer. Cadena, Engini, EOS, Polygon, Cosmos, Chainlink. What? Videos like that are just so bad. I can't figure out if the people making those videos are just trying to pump up the prices of those coins. It's almost obviously something he himself has invested in, so it could be the case that he's trying to pump them up, but he's probably not stupid enough to think one TikTok would drive up enough volume to increase the prices of his own investments, so I don't know. The only other alternative is that this person really truly thinks that encouraging others to put their money into these cryptocurrencies is going to be profitable for them. And if that's the case, it's likely that they made a lot of money in the last couple of years just because every crypto was up 100 or 1,000% or whatever. And so they're just blindly recommending these 5 names to people, 4 of which I've never heard of myself, and I read about cryptocurrencies a little bit. Very, very bad financial advice to blindly recommend random cryptocurrencies to people, especially in a market like today where a lot of those cryptos are down 90 or 95% probably.
Remember this simple hack when you go to buy a house? Watch this. Hi bank, I would like to set up my mortgage payment. Congrats on buying the house. It looks like your monthly payment will be $2,000. Actually, I'm going to divide my monthly payment by 4 and then pay it weekly. So pay $500 a week. Why would you do that? Well, you see, since there's 52 weeks in a year, I'll end up making an extra monthly payment. 52 divided by 4 equals 13. Okay, yeah, that's one extra payment a year, but why do that? Well, with the power of compounding interest over the course of the loan, I'll save $50,000 in interest payments, and it will reduce the term of my loan from 30 years to 26 years.
Yeah,
but that would mean the bank...
First, the general concept there is not bad. I'm okay with people who use that strategy. I'll certainly argue here the premise that this is some type of hack and that you're magically getting an extra month's payment into your mortgage during each calendar year. Paying weekly on your mortgage is just going to result in like an extra 8% on average per month going into your mortgage payment. So let's call this what it is. It's not some magical hack. It's just literally paying a little bit more than your average monthly payment versus your minimum, like versus what you have to. So now that we've simplified this concept to literally just paying a little bit more on your mortgage, let's dissect it based on that. It's a good idea if with that extra money, you would have just spent it on something useless that doesn't help build up your net worth or, you know, work towards a financially free future. But if you're someone working on building other things that could be beneficial to your life, or maybe you just have a couple kids at home and you want to enjoy the time that you have with them, and so you'd rather use that money on extra lifestyle things, whereas saving yourself money 30 years from now when your kids are grown isn't as beneficial, then I don't like the idea of paying extra on your mortgage. It's like, yeah, you can help yourself out on the last 4 years of your mortgage payment, but think about you in those 4 years, where you're going to be in life. If you're 55 to 60 years old, it's kind of like you're taking out of your, 30-year-old pocket to pay your 60-year-old self. Do you really want to be doing that? It's kind of up to you.
$40,000 below market, same thing that people are capable
right away,
of doing
what?
even in today's market. I lived there for 2 years, and while I rented out the basement, that basement income basically covered my mortgage.
So he's house
now,
hacking.
that first move that happened with this dynamic investment into that property, I was able to go back to the bank and get a home equity line of credit. They said, well, the house has gone up in value, you've got equity. This might be your situation if you own a home right now. Payment on the second property. Now, I didn't move into this house. It was nicer, it was bigger. I did a lease option. That means kind of like a rent to own, where I helped the family get into it. The family gave me several $1,000s as a down payment. Every month after paying the mortgage, there was $600 a month left over. So first house I'm living for free, second house I'm getting paid $600 a month. And after 3 months of that was when my wife said, wait a second, Chris, light bulb's going on. What if we did this again and again and again?
First point he made was about house hacking, rent out another room, rent out the basement. That's perfectly fine if you're cool with someone else living, within your home. That's not a bad idea. I don't like how he said he got the first house for $40,000 below market and the next one for below market. You can't realistically recommend to the masses that they buy houses below market value. It's not like half of the houses that are sold in the country are sold at market value and the other half are below market value. It just doesn't happen. There's a market for a reason. You have to get into some really weird, family or trust or house down the road foreclosure type circumstances to really get houses below market value like that. It's not a realistic financial recommendation. Finally, the general concept here of trying to make your house go up in value a little bit, then taking out a loan against that is leverage. You buy a new house, which you effectively just financed from the last house equity. It's like he's describing something that would result in infinite leverage, which is extremely risky. It's a ton of work, by the way, to do this. Find renters, get new loans from the bank, get approved for those loans, buy new houses, get new renters for that house. So this is a full-time job, make no mistake, and it's extremely risky if you ever start to lose renters. I know housing supply is very minimal right now, and there's always people looking to rent new houses, but who's to say 10 or 15 years from now that couldn't change? You'd be out of luck, and you likely wouldn't be able to sell those houses if the environment I just described was the reality. You'd be bankrupt. It's a risky way to build up equity in real estate. You could make some money doing it, but it's not very realistic, and it might be the end of you too. Oh, the fist pumps, man. Yes. That last fist pump was really weak. So, copying and pasting trades, buying trades from someone, for a few reasons is a terrible idea. Number one, it's very unlikely that the person you're buying trades from somehow happens to be smarter than the smartest hedge funds in the world, and every trade they make is profitable. That's an extremely rare and uncommon thing for people to do. Those who do it usually aren't selling their trades for you to copy and paste. If they're selling them, then they must feel like they need the extra money for something. Why couldn't they just make that money trading? The second point on that is that it's very likely they're trading in low float, like penny stocks, and they're just front running your trades. If they have a Discord server where they're selling access, and you're one of 100 members and they post a trade and then 100 other sheep follow that, those people are just going to be how they result in profits, and then you're going to end up with really poor results most likely on your end. It's a terrible idea.
America basically keeps the 99% poor on purpose. Poor people say, I'm going to donate my closet full of clothing to the Salvation Army because it's the right thing to do, and I'm going to feel good doing it. Rich people say, I'm going to donate my closet full of clothing that's valued at $3,000, and I'm going to ask for a tax receipt and take a picture of all.
I'm not a tax expert, and this is not tax advice. My understanding of the tax code, and it's slightly better than average understanding, I would say, is that you cannot write off donations on goods like this unless you're already itemizing your taxes, and less than 10% of people itemize their taxes. The majority of Americans take the standard deduction. So the fact that only rich people are itemizing deductions is not some conspiracy made by the government to keep 99% of people poor. It's just how the tax code works. The people taking the standard deduction are actually getting a better deal by taking that big deduction than they would if they took their smaller itemized donations. This is kind of a stupid concept to communicate to the masses.
So I started this brand new online business with no money.
Online
and in the first
business.
week, the business made over $800, and here's how I did
$800.
it. So first, I decided to sell this cordless hair curler and this heat protectant spray. And I got my products from the supplier Spocket. Then
I'm just gonna cut that off right there. She's talking about drop shipping, very common, e-commerce gig or side hustle that people will pitch online. The concept is simple: buy really cheap Chinese goods and make US web pages, market those goods on social media products, selling them at like a 3 times multiple what you paid. And you don't even have to take delivery of the goods. Actually, you can ship them directly from the Chinese supplier to the new customers that you source. The big problem with drop shipping, the reason why it's so difficult and why most people will never profit doing this, is that getting people to traffic your web page and actually buy the goods from you rather than just finding them from the Chinese supplier online is very difficult. You usually have to have extremely well-established social media channels, like I'm talking about 100,000 followers or more on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, to successfully market these enough such that you can turn a profit. You can pay for marketing services, but then those are eating up your potential margins from selling these cheap goods. So in general, drop shipping is not an easily replicated side hustle that a lot of people can benefit from financially.
Looking for a side hustle that can bring you in thousands of dollars a month?
Thousands
Look no
a month,
further.
yes.
This side hustle does not require for you to show your face on social media. It doesn't require tech skills or marketing skills, and you can get set up in a day.
What is it?
It's called print on demand, and I do this full time because it brought enough money for me to quit my 9 to 5. When I say print on demand, people also think I mean just t-shirts and sweatshirts, but there are so many different products that you can print on demand. You can do journals, you can do puzzles, you can do pet collars, you can do...
In some ways similar to the last topic, in some ways this is similar to the last video. You buy some printing tools that you can put designs onto fabrics or products with, then you buy like a blank t-shirt from a cheap supplier. But again, the important part is that you print some design on it. You have to be able to sell that online. You need to be able to drive traffic to a web page or a web store that you create so that you can sell these things for a profit. Driving that traffic, generating sales is the most difficult part, as could be said with many businesses probably. In my mind, the people who have success with this are the people who already have established social media channels, 100,000 plus followers, so not good financial advice for regular people to go out and just start trying to do. You'll end up spending more money on the printing tools and the t-shirts or whatever it is that you're printing on than you'll be able to sell.
Your total at the Apple Store is $1,000, cash or card. Oh, later. Excuse me? Oh, I'll just pay later.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
you won't.
I like this.
Yeah, I will. I'm using one of these 0% interest, buy now, pay later programs. Listen, kid, if you need a loan and you can't even afford this, I really wouldn't. Oh, I have the cash right here. But using one of these 0% interest loans, I get to protect my cash to put towards investment vehicles that are going to generate me a greater than 0% return over the term length of this loan. I use this money.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of the buy now, pay later programs. They're really just, in my opinion, kind of like a modern day cash advance loan or paycheck advance loan. Pretty well known at this point that those cash advance offices are pretty predatory. They charge people huge interest rates and they kind of prey on poor people who don't have access to money in the first place. I'm not saying the buy now, pay later stuff is necessarily predatory or charging huge rates, but it almost certainly encourages people who are not in great financial standing to buy more than they otherwise would have because they have access to this money that they don't yet have to actually pay for. They can push the payments down the road. So in theory, if everybody in America was 100% financially responsible and thought about it like this guy's saying, oh, I'm gonna invest this money, to make a little bit for the 3 weeks while I don't make this payment, then they could be an okay tool. But the reality is this business exists for profit, and the profit is going to be off of people who end up spending more money than they would have otherwise because they feel like they have access to cash that they shouldn't feel like they do because they don't have the money. And these people are going to end up in a little bit of trouble when they owe more on these pay later programs than they now can even afford. They have to buy groceries literally now, but they have to make their payments on their pay later thing because they bought a new cell phone 3 weeks ago. I just don't like this concept at all. If you like these TikTok reaction videos, please go ahead and like this one so I can track that relative to other videos in the past. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it very much. As always, thanks for watching.